No. What is going on here?
I thought he was.
What are you doing here?
Oh no, doctor.
What are they doing here, Mrs. Hudson?
I thought you said he was improving.
Who is that?
Come along, Jim. It's not...
Why am I there? I shouldn't be there.
Handle this. It doesn't look right. Doctor, this is mine. Give the cane back. Doctor.
Need to see it. Have to deduce.
Return it.
Leave me be. Stop. I won't go. Stop. Stop.
Well, that was an unmitigated disaster. It was just a bit of confusion. I'll be fine. Your talent for understatement is unmatched, Mrs. Hudson. Just give him some time. Time? He's been locked up here for 2 weeks. In the meantime, people have been doing nothing but ask questions. Well, they can ask away. What other people think isn't my concern. Well, it should be. What do you think will happen if you let this go? Do you think he'll simply stay up here in his own fantasy land, or will he try to leave? Go on a case, perhaps? Sooner or later, he is going to hurt someone, unintentionally or not. Sherlock is just trying to... You, of all people, should not be calling him that. It's who he is, how he talks, how he moves now. Besides, it's all he'll answer to.
Where are you?
What did you say?
He should have been here today.
Doctor?
Yes. Watson, he should have been here.
Watson, the cane.
It isn't his.
Whose?
It isn't Watson's cane.
Then why take it?
To examine it, sister. Why else? I come to conclusions about people and situations based on a close scrutiny of their personal effects.
And your conclusions about the cane?
The cane, Mrs. Hudson, is irrelevant. The man who carried it is the key factor. First of all, he owns a dog. There are bite marks on the cane and tufts of gray hair stuck to it as well. The bite marks occur on the lower portion of the cane, so the dog is relatively small. And given the number of marks, ill-tempered. A schnauzer most likely. Secondly, the man is from out of town. The cane is coated in a reddish clay not found in London proper, but rather a mile to the south. Baskerville.
And this tells you what?
Well, given that I've never met the man, I can only assume that he is a friend of Mrs. Hudson's, here in this trying time on her request.
Trying time? You knew about the funeral?
Of course I did.
Then may I have the cane back?
I would, Mrs. Hudson, but unfortunately I have further experiments to run.
He's still in one of his moods. He always gets like this when he hasn't had a case in a while. I am aware. Mrs. Hudson, has he really convinced you to such a degree that even you think this is real? Of course not. But what's the alternative, Mycroft? Lock him up in an asylum and throw away the key? Hide him away like one of your government secrets? He's your brother. That is not my brother. That is a shell, a crude remembrance of my brother. Whatever he was is gone. Talk to him. See for yourself. The only thing I can tell him is the truth. Go on, then. You won't get far. I tried 3 days ago, and 2 days before that. And he broke down. He just stood there staring at me. Staring through me, really. Crying. I tried to talk to him, and he just stood there crying. So I went up to bed, and the next morning, Sherlock is back. You see, I don't want to hurt him anymore. I want to keep him. This cannot go on. Why? After the interruption at the service, it is clear to me that he will grow increasingly unstable. Sherlock knew too many things about what I do, too many government secrets, as you put it. Many of them the doctor, too, was present for. In the interest of national security, I must have him detained. What government secrets are you talking about, Mycroft? He isn't going to do anything. I cannot take that risk. People have begun to wonder about him, and after the incident downstairs, curiosity will only grow. But if we can repair his psychosis now, I will call it off. Then I agree. But if it is to be done, it will be done in as gentle a manner as possible. We will play into his game to make him see reason. That would not be wise. But it is how it will be. You are hardly in a position to make demands, Mrs. Hudson. Mycroft Holmes, I would like to remind you whose home this is and who your elders are. Now I want your word, Mycroft, that you'll be gentle. Mrs. Hudson. Your word. Very well. I give you my word. But if he becomes dangerous, I will do his best. He won't. Sherlock?
Mrs. Hudson, how can I help you?
Your sister's here.
And half of London was downstairs for a funeral. What of it?
She's here to talk with you.
Then why isn't she? This pretext is unnecessary, Mrs. Hudson. I have no interest in talking to that woman.
Sherlock, she's your sister.
To my everlasting displeasure, I know.
It's all right, Mrs. Hudson. My brother and I have had a bit of a falling out lately. Well, now would be the time to settle it, wouldn't it? She's right, you know. Can't we at least be civil with one another?
Fine. How is the British government these days?
The peak of health, in no small part due to you. And how is the world's greatest detective?
Much the same.
Now, isn't this nice? Shall I put on some tea?
No, thank you, Miss Watson.
All right. Where's Dr. Watson, Sherlock?
Not in, I'm afraid. He's been gone for days.
Did he say when he would be returning?
I'm afraid he was reticent on the subject. I've been trying to find him, but with no success. He should have been here today.
Well, I do hope he'll be back in time for dinner.
It's highly unlikely. He's never on time these days.
Yes?
Well, you know Watson.
I, however, am less familiar.
And you would have me educate you?
Is there any harm in that?
I suppose not. Well, as you know, he was a military man. A battlefield surgeon in Afghanistan. He received a leg wound toward the end of his service and was discharged.
Not unlike your own.
I beg your pardon?
Your leg is injured, is it not? That's why you need the cane.
I needed the cane to examine the situation at the funeral.
Of course.
So, Dr. Watson partnered with you on your cases?
Yes, he thought my work as a detective was fascinating. He wished to accompany me.
And for 11 years he did.
Yes.
Until?
Watson, some iodine, please. Oh, yes. Thank you. I was attacked.
By who, Holmes?
3 assassins.
I dare say. Who would wish to assassinate you?
Someone who's grown tired of our interference in the criminal underworld. Professor James Moriarty.
A professor?
Indeed, though that is merely an alias. The real Professor Moriarty died years ago. Whomever this man is an imposter. In reality, he is a mastermind, perhaps my own equal, the Napoleon of crime.
Well, then we must stop him.
I wish it was that simple. The assassins were merely a warning. Cease our investigations or he will us.
Sure. You've never backed down from a case before. If he's allowed to continue, he'll only do more harm.
You're right, Watson. I must stop him.
So it was you who drove him to continue?
I did no such thing. Watson was insistent. More than that, he was right. I couldn't sit by and let the professor continue. The case must take precedence.
As it should now.
I beg your pardon.
The reason I'm here. Once again, I must call upon you to solve a problem. That is what you and I do best, is it not?
Mycroft, what problem?
I'll do it.
Sherlock, you haven't even heard what it is yet. Mycroft, perhaps we should talk about this first before we tell Sherlock?
But we have Mrs. Hudson this very day. If Sherlock solves his case, he will be safe.
It's quite all right, Mrs. Hudson. I'll do it. I can handle myself.
But what about Dr. Watson? He should be here. You two always solve mysteries together.
Not anymore. Watson has made it clear he cannot attend to me. Now, Mycroft, the case.
Dr. John Watson is missing, this you know. What you do not realize is that he has been trapped. We don't know where yet, but all the clues point to the last case you shared.
With the professor?
Yes. Whatever happened on that case is connected to his disappearance. Further, within this room lies the keys to his location.
You're sure of this?
I am. But first tell me, were you angry about the portrait?
What portrait?
The one at the funeral. You were angry. Was it about the portrait?
Sherlock?
The artist didn't get the image right.
No, he didn't. No photograph was available.
You know how you've always tried to avoid those. The portrait was all we had.
Sherlock?
What is it?
The first clue.
A violin! Purchased at a pawn shop for 7 shillings, a most worthy investment. Oh, it's dusty.
It looks as though it hasn't been played in weeks.
Well, I haven't been in the mood.
Well, why don't you play something, Sherlock? Show Mycroft you can do it.
Mrs. Hudson, Mycroft is well aware I can play the violin.
Oh, please, Sherlock, play something like you used to. For hours on end, and I would come downstairs and
It's all right, Mrs. Hudson. If he doesn't wish to play, he doesn't have to.
Thank you, sister.
Now do finish the story, please.
Story?
The one with you and the professor. I should think Mrs. Hudson would want to hear it.
Yes, we were traveling by train to Reichenbach at the request of Professor Moriarty for one last confrontation. Watson,
What is it, Holmes?
I want you to know how valuable you've been to me. Your observations have been most insightful.
Holmes, we both know I'm not much good.
Oh, no, not true. Your observations have been exceedingly important. It is exceedingly important I have someone whom I can trust.
Is everything all right, Holmes?
The identity of the professor. Certain things are about to take place that must never come to light. I'm afraid that all the suffering this man has caused is my doing.
Oh, that is not true.
It is. He does these things because of me, because I need a challenge. I need this stimulation. It's my fault. I know I've gotten too close.
Holmes, I'll be there. No matter what, I'll be there.
That's what I was afraid of. Watson would never have left had he known what was to come.
Been hard at work, I see.
Hard at work at what?
You've evolved your understanding of chemistry considerably over the last week.
Mycroft, what are you doing?
Observing his handiwork, Mrs. Hudson. For all his acclaim as a detective, Sherlock was always first and foremost a chemist.
I haven't touched that sun in days.
I know. Nonetheless, you did in the last week. Come see for yourself.
Mycroft, this is not necessary.
You see the fingerprints there?
Yes.
Describe them.
Mycroft, I really...
Describe them.
There are two sets of fingerprints. The first set is smaller, the spacing is even. This shows what exactly?
An expert hand. Steady and practiced.
That's my Sherlock right there.
And the second set?
The second set is larger, rather clumsy. There's a lot of smudging. It seems as though the second person didn't quite know what they were doing at first.
At first.
Well, yes, there's the same larger fingerprints here, but the spacing is more even, closer to the first set.
Your conclusions, Mrs. Hudson?
That the second person improved over time, like someone was learning to be him.
So here we have a transformation, from layperson to expert in only a few short days. Most remarkable. So tell us, Holmes, where's Watson?
I don't know. I don't know what you're trying to make me see.
Perhaps we should talk about something else. I'm sure we'll find Watson later.
Why is everyone so concerned with Watson? Where's Watson? When is Watson coming back? Why aren't Sherlock and Watson getting along?
You aren't getting along?
Oh, stop it. You shouldn't care about this. Everything is fine.
Well, I do care. You boys are the only family I have.
You, Mrs. Hudson, are the landlady. What interest do you serve by caring for us?
Because for 11 years, it's all I've done that I felt was worth doing. Even if it was just putting on tea, it was something.
Well, it wasn't enough.
Well, then what is? What do you want me to do?
Finish the story.
What?
Finish the story. You got off the train and...
Arrived at the inn. We waited for... No, this is not right. I don't want to see this again.
Mycroft, you're upsetting your brother.
As I have said before, that is not my brother.
Yes, he is.
You know nothing about what I've done, what I've sacrificed to make him happy.
When were you ever around? I was here every day with the doctor and Sherlock, and where were you? Hiding around in some dark room with the government? You never loved him, not like we did.
Finish the story.
Please stop. Stop fighting.
You're right. Things are rather tense today. First the funeral, and now this. You know what might make you feel better, Sherlock? A smoke.
I'm not in the mood.
Oh, come now. It always helps you think. Whenever you come to a stop, you take out your pipe and you smoke it.
Really, I'm fine.
You won't smoke, you won't play your violin. You're limping about the place as though you've taken a nasty fall. You really aren't yourself, are you?
He is exactly himself.
Just because you want it does not make it so. Tell me, have you considered the cost of Sherlock?
What are you talking about?
The cost of keeping my brother safe. I'll tell you. He never once asked for payment for any of his cases, so how did he afford to write?
Family inheritance is what he said.
More than you know. I kept him fed. I sent him money because I take care of my brother. But that wasn't enough. Have you noticed an overabundance of humanity in Sherlock? He was a machine, a thing that needed to solve problems just as I am. I found government, but he found people. People in all their corrupt glory.
Mycroft, please don't. Don't tell her like this.
Tell me what? What, Sherlock?
I'm not well, Mrs. Hudson. I've never been. You are all just toys, things to keep me occupied, to keep me going.
That is not true.
It is. If I didn't have some problem to solve, I would make them myself.
That is not like you.
It is, Mrs. Hudson. It is.
No. You're Sherlock Holmes. You're better than that. You play the violin more beautifully than anyone I've ever heard. That's not a machine I listen to every night. You chose to do what's right. You put bad people away.
It was all for my amusement.
Amusement? No, it couldn't have been. Even though you couldn't quite connect with people, you helped them. You're a foreigner who knows our homes better than we do.
You were at the inn.
We left when the professor sent us a note.
You were halfway to the falls.
No, stop this. I want to keep him.
A boy caught up to us on the road.
Sherlock, we should go. We can find Watson together.
He handed Watson a letter saying they were injured at the inn that needed tending to.
Sherlock, please. I don't want to see this.
You split off. The doctor went back to help the injured.
Reveal yourself, Professor.
It's over, Holmes.
What?
Mycroft, you shouldn't be here. Professor Moriarty.
He's here for you. I made him appear.
I don't understand.
The cost of keeping my brother occupied. Sherlock needed problems to solve. It's the only way he could function. And when he couldn't find them, he'd make them up himself. One night he must have gotten restless, so he made a man disappear. An old professor of his, James Moriarty. I had to stop it, you see, so I became his problem. A man for him to find? I even took his name as tribute. I am the professor.
When Watson realized the boy was lying, he ran back toward the falls, but it was too late.
I can't keep doing this for you, brother. I can't kill anymore so you can hunt me. I can't invent more mysteries for you.
I understand. You won't stop until I'm gone. One of us has to go.
Yes.
It can't be you.
No, I'm too important. The country wouldn't last a week without me. You know that.
I know.
It was you?
When Watson arrived at the falls, it was too late.
It was you. You killed him. You drove him to it.
He didn't know how to handle it. He couldn't.
Get out.
He tried to rationalize it, but he couldn't.
My plot homes, get out of my house.
I couldn't save him.
I'll tell everyone who'll listen.
Go ahead.
Ah, I couldn't save him. I tried, Mrs. Hutton. I ran so hard, but I couldn't. It was this damn limp.
Please.
That's not my name. My name is John Watson.
Tell anyone you wish. Or don't. Stay here and fix him instead. Bring Sherlock back. Only as you pointed out today, this one is in no danger. He doesn't need me. Just see to it he doesn't fall this time.
What were you saying, sister?
Why don't you play your violin? It helps you think, does it not?
Yes. Perhaps I shall.
Good. I'm glad you're taking it up again.
As am I.
Now I must be going.
Oh, so soon?
Yes, I have state business to attend to. Sherlock, Mrs. Hudson.
Mrs. Hudson, are you all right?
I'm fine, Sherlock.
Can I get you something?
No, I think I'll just sit for a while.
Can I play something? Anything in particular?
Anything you'd like, dear. I'm sure it'll be lovely.